First of all, I really would want to say thank you to my colleague, Supervisor Simidian, the chair of the HXC, which I am honored to be sitting with him for pushing this effort and also taking the effort to move so many of the experts and people or counties, neighboring counties, that's established AOT and what they have learned from those process and how many people they've been able to serve. So I just want to say thank you, Senator, former Senator, and Supervisor Simidian for making this happen. Before I make my other comments, I'd like to make the following recommendations. I hope my maker of motion would be willing to agree upon. First, I would like to request an off-agenda report from staff regarding the funding sources to implement AOT. Looking at the MHSA funding report, looks like some of the funding will be exhausted by 2024, 2025. And what I would like to see at the report is further information regarding the 5 behavioral health components. The CSS and PI PowerPoint presentation, including this report, is really good. But I would like to get more detail regarding current funding levels for CSS and PI components, and also the current funding levels projected for the INN, capital facilities, and also the technological needs as well, and the workforce education training components. It would be helpful to provide a summary of how these funds will be used, and also with the MHSA component, and how that might also be used for AOT. The other issue, of course, is Medi-Cal, and I think that Medi-Cal could provide a significant amount of funding as well to help out. Looking at the numbers in Los Angeles, for example, in Los Angeles program, about half the amount of funding for AOT was paid for by MHSA funding, and the other half is by Medi-Cal. Second is that many individuals referred to AOT have demonstrated to have substance abuse disorders. And I think it's imperative for the success of AOT that we have the proper programs in place to address these needs as well. So I would like to ask for a second off-agenda report regarding existing substance rehabilitation services and resources and the process by which individuals get into care. It has come to my attention recently that the county only has 31 of these temporary residential beds for individuals with substance use disorders. And so I'm trying to ask staff to provide the board with further information on these services and resources, whether they're enough and whether AOT implementation may be inclusive in terms of supporting clients with mental health and or substance abuse. Third is I really would like to have staff to work closely with our local VA, Veterans Administration, to ensure that AOT and other county mental health services are made available to our veterans. Speaking on this issue, AB 1976, the assisted outpatient treatment, was passed by the Assembly 77-0. It is practically unanimous. This is not a liberal, it's not a conservative, it's not a partisan issue at all. It really is an issue that I think we have studied for so long. And the state basically said that, look, this seems to have worked by so many years of implementation that all counties should go ahead and open automatically. And that's the reason why we're talking about today. As many have said, this is not a panacea to our county and health problem. And number of folks who will be being served under this program probably range anywhere from 60 to 100 per year. But these are also the people that has the most severe mental health needs. Therefore, I really believe that this program has been long overdue. I really believe it would save life and also provide the relief to the families who know the needs of the loved ones best. It would help reduce the misuse of our law enforcement resources, the revolving door of our jail for the unhoused and those with mental health needs. As we all know, homelessness is not a crime. Mental illness is also not a crime. We need to divert our most important resources and those vulnerable ones to the mental health services, not to jail. Our neighboring counties, San Francisco, San Mateo, Contra Costa, Alameda, and even Los Angeles County have all shown that AOT has saved lives. And actually, when they run it for a while, they realize that they also reduce costs on the other areas from law enforcement and jail too. Therefore, I think it's as important that we study carefully how they use their funding and to make sure that, especially the MHSA funding, which has been shown that some of the funding has been slow in being spent, those would be perfectly good in my eyes as something that we could look into for this program. Another thing is, right now, starting a program is never easy or cheap. And the reason it's not cheap is because we are serving the most difficult part of our community. And I think it is absolutely humane thing to do today. And I want to thank all the speakers that came in today, sharing many of the very heart-moving stories that bring people's tears to our eyes. Many of our family members, our neighbors have suffered or have died on the streets. And I really do believe that this is one program that would help so if those few that would qualify could really make a difference. So I urge my colleague to support this program. I really look forward for its implementation and hope that our county will be able to move in the fastest way possible to make this a successful program. And I also want to commend my Supervisor Simidian for putting the oversight point into the motion, because I really do believe that there's some oversight that needs to be there to making sure that this program is successful in the long run. Thank you very much.
Through the chair, I am happy to accept all three of Supervisor Lee's recommendations: off-agenda report on financing as described, off-agenda report on substance abuse services and programs as described, and cooperation and coordination with the VA as described, in addition to the oversight amendment that he and I are in agreement on.
Thank you. And you're doing that allowed me to find my unmute button.